What is up, sucker faces? Today I'm bringing you guys yet another map, and this one is a lot more complicated than my other two. If we just go over here and have a quick glance at it, it is actually a board game that I made within Minecraft Windows 10 and PE. I kind of had the idea when I was trying to work out an RPG adventure map, and I was like, oh, you know what? This would be really cool if I could make this into a board game, sort of like in the vein of something like Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons or any other RPG board game. I've only played like the common childhood ones like Monopoly, Trouble. I've never got in big on the board games, but as you can see, this is the starting area here. But if you look all the way over here, we have so many signs, and it's actually kind of making my FPS dwindle just a tiny bit because of all the signs, which is kind of crazy. But this is all the info to play the map, to know the map, to understand the map. But I'm just going to tell you guys how everything works and how you do everything so you don't have to read all this. But if you don't want to watch the video and you just want to read all of it, be my guest. It's all there. It's a lot of reading, though. But I did put it there just in case. So this is the in-depth instructions. Okay, we can do this real quick. That'll bring you over to the instructions, all the in-depth instructions as it says. This is where you begin the game, and this is just throws you into creative because you can. It's just a lot easier to play this on creative. You don't really need to be in survival at all, and it also tells you the title. So we're gonna go to begin. So this is the starting room. This is the main room where you're gonna do everything. So the map is 1 to 4 players. Once all the players are teleported here, one person at a time will go beyond this line. Everybody else stay behind the line so that they don't get the items given to them rather than the person over here. Because if everyone's around here and someone clicks a button to get items, one person could get it, the other person may not know and they didn't get it. It's just a big hassle. So 3 stay over here, 2 stay over here, 1 stay over here, however many, and have one person go at a time. When this person leaves, the next can go in. So we have a couple buttons here. Our first is our HP sheet. This is your health that you'll get. And we're going to just open our inventory. So, actually, no, we'll keep that there. So, our HP is 15. I think I'm going to lower it down to 10 because I did test play it like twice. And 15 kind of felt a little high. So, if you see 10 instead of 15, don't be surprised. Click to go to start area. We don't want that yet. Click to get your paper. Paper will help you to write down some stats. Like if you get a buff or debuff, you want to write it down so you don't forget it. And last but not least, this is our damage stat. We'll get to this later, but we're going to roll the die, and we're going to get a 6, which is actually the highest you can get for damage. So I am very lucky. So we're going to take our paper, and we're going to write down damage 6. So we have 6 damage. We'll put that down here, leave the paper there. And last but not least, we have to pick our class. When you play, only one person can be each class. So if I pick Knight, no one else can pick Knight. If I pick Wizard, no one else can pick Wizard, yada, yada, yada. These are all their items. You got the Knight Sword with 3 attack, 3 uses, plus 3 attack for 3 uses. Fire Wand plus 2 attack for 4 uses. Earth Bow plus 6 attack for 1 use. And the Necro Totem, you steal 4 attack, and it has 2 uses, which is kind of an odd one compared to the others. So we're going to grab the Necro Totem because that one sounds a lot more exciting. And then we're going to go to the start area. So then you're teleported to the board, and the next player would go and do everything that I just did. And this is a neutral area, but actually it's the start area, I guess. So when you get to the start area, you're going to have the start button that says this is the start area, and then you're going to roll to move. And it says you rolled a 3, so you would move 3. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you guys each space there is on the map. So this is the neutral area. This is the first of 5 areas, I guess you could classify, if you're including the final boss. So we're going to get a neutral area sign, or a neutral area like a button and a little thing that tells you it's a neutral area, and then roll die to move. That's how all neutral areas will be. We're going to click this. It says you look around in the dense forest and see nothing. You move forward. You're not actually going to move forward. It's just kind of lore and backstory to where you're standing right now. Do click this every time because there is a certain area that will give you a buff or debuff. I don't want to spoil it, but there is an area that will do that for you. So make sure to always click the neutral button. And then, so I just moved once. say that I got a 1 here. I just moved once. I'm not going to roll the die. The next person's going to move, yada, yada, yada. You only roll the die at the beginning of your turn, obviously. That shouldn't be a surprise. So then you would roll your die. You'd roll a 6. You'd move. Okay. Next is the combat area. So we've got a combat area, which is the and the button, which is basically the exact same as the neutral area button. It's going to give you backstory, but this time it will tell you the attack of the enemy, and it will also tell you what happens if you win, what happens if you lose, items you can't use in this battle. Sometimes it'll only say attack. Let's look at this one. Branches can be heard breaking around you. The noise slowly gets louder, and before you know it, an undead skeleton with glowing green eyes appears from the edge of the forest. Attack 6. If you win, go to the next item area. So the skeleton's attack is 6. And we've got to roll die to move and roll for attack. So we have to keep in mind the skeleton's attack, as you can see there, is 6. We're going to click the roll for attack. We got a 6. So what we would do for our overall attack is we would take that 6 we just rolled and we would add it to our damage. So we would actually have 12 overall attack. And our attack alone that we just rolled beat the skeleton, so it doesn't really matter. We just double beat the skeleton pretty much. But so if you equal your overall attack to the attack of the enemy, you win. Anything equal or higher wins. So do remember that when you roll for attack, you're going to take the attack it gives you, the 7, or whatever it may be, and you're going to add it to your damage, and that's what you'll get for your overall attack. And you could also use an item in this battle. So if I had another item. Okay, so I'm going to go into depth on the items in a bit, but just so you guys know, the class items like the Knight Sword, the Necro Totem, the what else was there? There's the Fire Wand and the Earth Bow. All of those can be used at any point. So like say I click this and it tells me the attack is 6. I can use it whenever I want. Say I don't have enough overall attack to beat this guy, this undead skeleton, I can use the Necro Totem if I want, whenever I want. It can be used at any time, whenever you want. But with the items you get from item areas, you can only use them, you have to decide it prematurely, so you can't do it before you see the attack, or when you see the attack, or after you see the attack, I should say. You can only do it before you see the attack. I'm not sure if there would be a punishment for that. I guess you would have to work it out amongst the players within there if you did that, if you accidentally did it and then said, oh, I'm going to use this item. Or I guess you could just say, okay, no, you can't use that item. You already saw the attack. I don't know, whatever you want to work out, but that's just how it works. You can, with regular items that you get from these green item areas, you cannot use them at any time. You can only use them before you see the attack. With class items, you can use them at any time. Do you remember that? That's just the point I was trying to get through. So we saw that. We saw how the combat works, and now we're going to roll our die to move. It'll roll it for us, and it'll tell us how many spaces we have to move. So now we're on to the third area, which is the item area, and we're going to click this, and like all the others, it's going to tell us what's happening. You scavenge the body of a dead undead skeleton. Kind of ironic there. And then we have a get item button and a roll die to move. As always, the roll die to move will come in at the beginning of your turn, and you will obviously just roll it to move to the next area. But when you land on a green space, you can you can grab an item, only one item. Okay, so this one is a knowledge book. It gives us move 3, and it's 1 use. So at any time I can use the move item. So if I wanted to, so I grabbed it. If I grabbed it and I shouldn't say at any time. If I grabbed it, then my next turn, I can use it to move 3. But I don't know if I would want to do that for the combat area, unless I wanted to gamble it for an item or something. You can it uses up your move when you use it, so it has to be used at the beginning of a turn, and then it will use up your move rather than you actually rolling the die. That's how that works. That's how the move items work. And you can also get items that will do. See if we have one in here. No. But I'll demonstrate kind of all these items here. So we have the sand. Sand is the only one that will allow you to escape battle. As you see here, it says escape battle. When you're in a battle, or when you land in a combat area, you can see the attack and whatnot. But you cannot roll roll and then escape. You have to decide after you see the attack or before you see the attack if you want to escape the battle. When you escape the battle, you don't move off the area. You stay on the combat area, and then you just wait for your next turn. And it cannot be used on mini bosses or bosses. The lasso, it's a take -1 attack. So that's basically going to allow you to take -1 attack. So if the enemy has 10 attack, you only take 9 attack. And this one actually has 2 uses. Again, you can't use that after you see the attack. You must use it before you go into battle, before you see the enemy attack. Common sword, simple, +2 attack, 1 use. Again, you can't do it before you see the attack, or you can't do it after you see the attack. You have to do it before. That's how all the common items work. There's more items I'll show you guys in a second, but I think that's it for the item area. Yeah, let me just show you these other items here too. So we've got this one's not a good example. Actually, I think that was a good example. Yeah, here's another one. So it says a map, move up to 3, and that's 1 use. So at the beginning of your turn, if you want to use this as your move item, you can move up to 3 spaces. So 1 to 3 spaces basically is what it means. So if I wanted to move to this neutral area, I could. If I wanted to move to this neutral area, I could. And I guess if I wanted to go to the combat area, I sure could. Now, that's all of that taken care of. I'm trying not to forget anything because I really don't want to forget anything. I want to go very in depth so you guys understand everything that's going on. I don't know if there's any more items that I have not gone over. Let's see. Oh, here we go. The gem. The gem has no loss effect, 1 use. So again, you use it before you see the attack. Well, in this case, it would be before you see the loss effect. Like if, say it says, I'll show you so you guys aren't confused. So we'll go to this combat area. We'll click this. That's not a good example. We'll click this. Also not a good example. Hang on, we'll find one. We'll click this. Okay, so you see there, if you lose, take an item away. So this gem, you would use it before you saw that, before you saw the loss effect, the loss circumstance. I'm not sure what you would call it, but I guess I'm just calling it a loss effect. But you would use it before you saw that, but it's kind of difficult because you don't actually know if it's going to have a loss effect, but you would use it before that, and you could use it just to be safe, because if you don't, say you think you're going to lose the battle, you think something's not going to go well for you, you can use this, and then if you lose, no loss effect. Of course, it's a normal item, so you have to use it before you see the attack, before you see the loss effect. Okay, and I think that's about it for those spaces. I'm trying my hardest not to forget anything. We'll just jump to the mini boss area now. Okay, so you're going to get mini boss. If you win, roll die and roll for attack. So mini boss is going to be the same. I have to change that block. But the mini boss is going to be the same as neutral area, combat area, item area. It's just going to tell you the lore behind it. You notice an oddly placed stone slab on the ground. As you inch closer, you can see some kind of runic symbol carved into the slab. You step on the slab, and the symbol on it lights up entirely blue. As you look up from the slab, you can see that a massive ice golem has been summoned. Okay, and then it's going to actually say 3 attacks. So this one's a little bit different. With the mini bosses and the boss, you're going to do like a best 2 out of 3. It's like rock, paper, scissors, essentially. So you see his first attack is 9. So our damage is 6. We're going to roll for an attack. We rolled a 5. So 6 plus 5 is 11. So we beat him on the first attack. Okay. So what was the second one? His second one was 11. And we're going to roll for an attack. Again, our damage is 6. We rolled a 4. That's going to be 10. We could use the steel 4 attack if we wanted, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to say that we didn't use it and that we lost the second one. And his final one is 10. We've got 6. We got a good chance of winning. Yeah, there we go. We beat him. We got an 8 there, so that combined to, what, 14? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 14. So we beat him, and if we win, we would get an item. We would go to if you win, and there's only 1 item per mini boss area, and this is the epic helm. It actually gives take -5 attack for 1 use. Okay, now that reminds me. So this would the epic helm is classified as a normal item again, so you can only use it before You see the attack before you see the loss stats, all that yada yada yada. But this reminds me because there are some areas, some combat areas you can go to that will kind of send you back a couple spaces. And if you get sent back a couple spaces, you are, say like I'm on this combat area, I lose and the parameter says go back 2 spaces. So I would go back 2 spaces and I would get on the get item area again. If I was already on the get item area once, I cannot get another item. It does not work like that. You can't get 2 items from the same area. You are only allowed 1 item per item area. So if you've already been here, do not get an item. If you have not, sure, take an item. And also, say I get back onto this combat area again, and I'm like, oh no, I have to do this combat area again. You actually do have to redo that combat area. And if you lose again, you take the lost stat again, and you go back. Also, oh, well, let's clear the weather. I swear I put a command block down to auto clear the weather, but maybe not. Or maybe I'm too far away from it. Actually, that's probably it. But so if you lose in a battle, okay, let's say if you lose in the combat area, you're gonna do -1 HP. So I would take my HP sheet, go over here, boom. I would go to 14. So if I lost a combat area, I would just do 14. Some combat areas will say if you lose this battle, do -2 instead. So you'd have to do -2. On the mini boss, if you lose against the mini boss, you're gonna do -2. So if I was at 14, it's gonna be 12. That is if you lose to the mini boss. If you beat him, you get your item. Okay, so I think that covers all that, and we're going to finally jump over to the boss. I kind of don't want to spoil him for you. So I'm not going to look at him directly, but we have the boss fight. I'm not going to spoil that. That's the lore again. It's going to show his attacks. So his attacks, he has 7 attacks. You have to win 4 out of the 7 to beat the boss. And we have an if you win, we have an if you die, and we have a roll for an attack. So, of course, again, you would roll for your attack, add it with your damage. Oh, that's a bad roll. So you would only have 7 attack. So say his first one is 9, you would lose. But I guess you could use your totem if you still have it, of course, if you haven't used it already. Or if you, whatever your other class items are. Right after you get that, yada, yada, yada. Or I could use this before I even see it. So I could say, I'm going to use this -5 attack helm. I'm going to roll. So you rolled a 4 plus this 6. Say his attack was 11. I won the battle because I had 10. And that -4 off him, which is 10, 9, 8, 7. He only had a 7. And then I had, or this only had 1 use, so this is gone. And you can go to the trash areas, which are right here, and just toss that in there, and it will be gone. It will be gone forever. I just spoiled the boss for you. Don't look. Don't look. So that's how that works. You could also just kind of toss it up here in your inventory, like up here to the right or something, if you didn't want to go to the trash areas. But you are in creative, so you can just fly over. So that's how all that works. Again, the boss is 7 battles, so you have to win 4. And, okay, I think that's about it for all the areas. Now, okay, we saw the trash, so I don't have to go over that. But I will go over these amulet areas for you guys. The amulet areas... we would go to an amulet area if we had 5 items. So say we have 5 items, and you can trade in 5 items for an amulet. And, okay, let's just say that these were legit items, and we got them legit. So we're going to trade in, you can trade in your class item. Would not recommend it, but you can do that. So we traded in 5 items. Oh, you can also click on it, and it will tell you about it. It'll say... trade in 5 items, and it tells you there's 4 different amulets, and they are told in detail in the how to play section in the spawn. So we're going to press for an amulet, and we got the revive amulet, which is an amazing amulet because it allows you to come back to life after you've died, if you die. And it'll give you, you can only come back with half of your health, though. That reminds me, good thing. That reminds me, I'm kind of going to be all over the place because I have to remember every single rule for this map. I mean, it's not too in-depth, but there's like the little nooks and crannies of rules I have to remember. So, the if you win, obviously you're going to click that if you win. there's this if you die button. Now you only click this if you die button if you actually die in this boss fight. And so every time you lose against the boss, you'll do -3 HP. You won't do -2 like the mini boss, or -1 like the regular area. You're going to do -3, so you're going to be at 9. And then if you die, you're going to click this. But don't click this. Say you have the revive amulet. Do not click the if you die if you have the revive amulet. Just use your revive amulet, throw it away, and then change your HP to half of its original, which is 15, but it might be 5 when I release this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 10 HP total, so yeah, it would be 5. I'm pretty sure I'm changing that to that. We'll see. I'll have to test it a couple more times. And I will show you guys all the amulets just so you have an idea of what you're going for. So we have the skip amulet, move up to 6, 1 use. That obviously, like I showed you before, you're going to move 1 to 6 areas for your move, and that's going to be 1 use. The revive, come back, we just talked about that with half health. Heal, you heal for 5 HP, like at any time, just straight up just heal. And attack, kill enemy, not bosses. So this one's really cool. You actually insta-kill any enemy. Amulets are another one of the items that can be used at any time. You don't have to use them like a regular item and do it before you see the attack. They can actually be used at any time. So you're going to say I'll just do an example. Say we have like a big brute enemy or something like let's just click on this. I mean, its attack is only 5, so this isn't a good example, but say it was like 15. If we were like, holy cow, I'm not going to be able to beat this guy, I could just use my attack amulet and boom, just like that, we beat him. Now, I think that's about it. I think I've gone over everything. Actually, I can show you guys this dice right here. In every one of these dice, I guess, in every one of these die, there's actually the mechanism to roll the die. Now, I had to do multiple of these because the chunks kind of unload when you go far enough away. So when I summon the sand with the command block, it would just stay in air and it wouldn't actually drop. So I had to do a bunch of different ones. And there's actually one for your roll attack stat because that one has separate numbers. It's actually 3 to 6 rather than 1 to 9. Or your damage stat, not your attack. Now, if I forgot anything, just let me know, and I will put it in the description. So read the description before you download, or before you play, just so if I missed anything, you can get up to date on that as well. Oh yeah, I did want to go over a big use for the paper. So if we jump over to a combat area, let's say, actually I'll just click it. Let's say we have something like, if you win, add 1 attack to any weapon item you have. So that's what all these anvils are for. So say we have a weapon item. The Necro Totem isn't really classified as a weapon item, so we can't do that. But so say we had a sword or something. We'll just snag one out of one of these. Yeah, here we go. We got an uncommon sword. So say we got let me fly. Say we got a sword. We're going to throw it down. I think it said +1 attack, right? So we're just going to go into the anvil and pop 1 more attack on there. So we're going to have +4 on this item. And you just do that for, if it tells you that, just do it and you're good to go. Let's see if we can't get another example. Oh, here we go. Escape battle items will not work here. So if you have an item that says escape battle, much like the sand I showed you earlier, it will not work. If you lose, take 1 extra damage. What was that other stat? If you win, allow any one of your items to have an increased usage by 1. So say we lost, we're going to take 2 damage rather than 1 on our sheet. And say that we won, what was it again? If we won, allow any one of your items to have an increased usage. So we could even just pop that on the sword as well. So instead of 1 use, we'll have 2 uses. So we'll have a +4 2-use sword, which is very good. Very, very good. And then we'll have that to use. If I remember anything else, I'll let you know. If not, you'll hear the outro. Alright, guys, I think that's the end of all the explanation. I think I covered everything. If I didn't, please let me know. I'll pop it in the description, so make sure to read the description just in case. I just wanted to make a video for this. Well, I make a video for all my maps, but this one was extremely important because I didn't want to make you read all that text. I wanted to go over it by voice, by visuals, so you actually could understand it a lot better. So you're not just reading signs after signs after signs. And I think I covered everything. Again, if I didn't, let me know. I'll put it in the description. But I think that's about it. As always, if you liked it, make sure to drop a like. If you really liked it, make sure to subscribe. And I will see all of your beautiful faces later.